Get that man. Call to.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the NFAC, the Not Effing Around Coalition, the all-black militant separatist group I covered back in July, who had yet another accidental discharge of their weapon. This time it was at a so-called protest in Lafayette, Louisiana, for a 31-year-old black male by the name of Trayford Pellerin, who was shot and killed by police in August. Now, there's a whole lot to quote-unquote unpack here, as the cool kids would say. We got to talk about NFAC. We got to talk about their leader, Grandmaster Jay. We got to talk about some previous incidents and previous protests. But before we go down that rabbit hole, let's roll the clip. In this clip, you'll see the accidental shooting. Well, you won't see the bullet leave the gun, but you'll hear it, and you'll see the reaction of those that are right next to it. And you may hear some reaction of people verbally, you know, kind of getting mad at the police and mad at white people. But after we get done watching that, I'll talk about what was said and done there. I'll talk about their history. Then I'll give you the rest of my 2 cents, my deep detailed analysis, and then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
No. That's your boy been you talking to. Come on, fellas. Come on.
Nobody shoot a gun. Do not give these people what they want. We came out here to give a damn protest. We came out here to show them that we better than them. And that's what we gonna do. That's what we gonna do. Do not give these assholes what they want. That's exactly what the they want. We're not giving it time. They don't want this to take place. And that's why we gotta stand in unity for our people. I'm tired of us being white. I'm tired of taking advantage of us. I'm tired of treating us like we're dogs. Enough is enough. They don't protect us, but they take our money. Enough is enough. We keep our lights on in your house. We help y'all send y'all children to school. We pay your insurance. Without us, none of this can be done. Why y'all taking him to jail? What he did? He ain't did nothing. Where y'all people at? No, y'all let the one that fired the shot go. Y'all knew this was gonna take place.
All right, you saw that, you heard that. Now, I'm not really sure where to begin. I think before I address the most recent quote-unquote accidental shooting at an NFAC protest, I got to talk about some previous incidents and bungles and mishaps they've been involved with. Now, like I said, NFAC is an all-black militant separatist group. They're armed wherever they go. And I first laid my eyes on them in Atlanta. Well, not Atlanta, which is where they should have been after the shooting of Rayshard Brooks. They were actually in Stone Mountain, Georgia, which is not far from Atlanta, but it's not in the city. They were protesting the rock that's out there. That's what Stone Mountain is a giant rock. And it has a carving on it of Confederate generals. You have Jefferson Davis, Stonewall Jackson, Robert E. Lee. So they're out there protesting that and protesting against white supremacists and white supremacy, I guess, is an ideology like Antifa, I suppose, but I digress. So they're out there protesting that. Meanwhile, ain't nobody even out there to fight against them. There's no white supremacists. There's no neo-Nazis or the KKK and none of that out there. They say that Stone Mountain is a haven for these white supremacist groups, but they weren't there. All right. And this is back in July, mind you. They had on all black, long sleeve, hot stuff. And they, you know, it's like 100 degrees or more in Atlanta. It's very hot. They call it Hot Atlanta for a reason. You had guys passing out, getting saved by the police, the very same people that they kind of want to protest against, white police at that, which is crazy. So that's why I first laid my eyes on them and a guy by the name of Grandmaster Jay, who is a so-called leader. You can look him up. He has all kinds of videos of himself on the internet doing really silly things. And the group is just kind of silly as well. And I figured they would do some stuff like this where they shoot their guns off accidentally and hurt each other rather than having the so-called white supremacists or the police do something to them. Later in July, they had a so-called protest out there in Louisville, Kentucky after the whole Breonna Taylor situation happened. At that particular so-called protest, there was an accidental shooting where somebody got shot. Well, actually, 3 people got shot. One person got shot in the shoulder, someone got shot in the arm, and then someone got shot in the leg. The guy, the leader, Grandmaster Jay, said, well, this got shot and you know, this got hit in the shoulder and the arm and the leg. Nobody got shot. It's like, really, sir? So they got hit, quote unquote, with bullets in the arm and the leg and the shoulder. 3 different people, mind you, but nobody got shot. I mean, come on, be for real. So when they went to the hospital and they had injuries from a gunshot, what do you call that? A gunshot wound or no? Okay, are they a shooting victim or no? But I'll move on. This is no surprise to me that this kind of thing would happen, because if you see them in these different videos online, they're doing, like I said, they're doing silly things. One guy was dual wielding rifles. Like he had 2 rifles in his hand like this, like it was a shotgun, but it was 2 actual rifles. It's like, sir, how are you going to shoot that? Like, what is even the purpose? 1 rifle is enough. You can have more than 1 gun on you at a time. Like, let's say you have 1 in your hand and 1 in your back. Okay, I can understand that maybe, but come on, you got 2 like in your hands at the same time. What are you gonna do with that? And then there was a so-called instructional video from Grandmaster Jay trying to teach somebody how to use guns, but he's like in his apartment. It's like, sir, I need you to get out of your 2-bedroom bando in Atlanta and go down to a shooting range and get taught how to use guns yourself, because you're not very good. He banged his rifle on the table, and then the round got chambered. He thought that the round shot. It's like, what do we even, you're not doing things correctly here, sir. You're not really good with your guns. He says he has prior military experience, but I can't really tell. Okay, this whole little organization, NFAC, is raggedy from top to bottom, but I move right on. That brings us to the most recent accidental shooting. Now, when I say they, I mean NFAC, Grandmaster Jay, they say that he was not part of their organization, but he was right there with them. So why do you have this guy who is a felon, by the way, and I think probably a fugitive of the law? Why is he out there with a gun marching with you guys if he's not part of your group? Okay, is it like a form you can fill out to join NFAC? Because I thought that it was like an amalgamation of different gun groups in the Atlanta, Georgia area. That's what I thought that it was. And I've also seen some guys that are involved with NFAC that have also been in Black Lives Matter. There was one guy, real big, light-skinned dude. I've seen him before at a Black Lives Matter event, aside from the NFAC, aside from the guns and whatnot. All right. So I think that you could pretty much have anybody join your black separatist group. And they are a black separatist group. They don't want you to help if you are not black, which I guess is okay. It's better than Black Lives Matter calling themselves this whole black movement being run by 80% white liberals, but I'll move on. But they want their own piece of the pie, so to speak. They want their own little autonomous land. They are a black separatist group. Now, I wonder if they get put into the same category as white separatist groups. They got to be seen as terrorist organizations or extremist organizations. I mean, we've had plenty of accidental discharges and all kind of bungles and mishaps at these so-called protests. There's not appeared to be a lot of, solid leadership here. So I'm trying to figure out what's really going on. Now, NFAC aren't Black Lives Matter, and they're not extreme like Antifa. I don't see them out there burning stuff down. But if you're going to be protesting white supremacy, white nationalists, KKK or whatever, police violence, look at where the violence actually comes from. Don't look at outside groups and things. Look at yourself. That's where it's coming from. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How you feel about the NFAC group? Are they a good group, one that champion gun rights? You know, the guy that was out there marching was a felon, had a long record, should not have had a gun, and shot, quote unquote, accidentally, could hurt somebody, could have killed somebody. Whatever your thoughts on NFAC are, let me know in the comments below. You guys pretty much know where I'm at with it. I think NFAC, you got a black separatist group. If they were a white separatist group, how would they be treated? And then beyond that, I think their mission is totally misguided. You're talking about the white man and the police. You want to be out there protesting against them. You should be on their side. Okay, the police were out there trying to protect you guys from this guy who had his gun shooting just randomly, indiscriminately. The police were out there when you shot your gun off in Louisville and 3 people got shot. It was the police that intervened. It was the EMTs and the hospitals and everything else. You seem to be against that intervene with that situation. Nobody from no KKK, neo-Nazis, white supremacists came out there to hurt you guys. These guys don't even really exist. You're protesting against a specter, a fairy, a thing that's not real. You're protesting against your imagination. The thing that's happening right now is what happened at 2 of these so-called protests. That's your own people shooting their guns off and hurting or potentially hurting you guys. It's internal things you got to deal with, not external. So trying to screech to the police and white people is going in a totally wrong direction. Focus your energy where it's supposed to be rather than where you think it should be. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.